Will you shut your mouth?
The Cooper and Anthony Show.
You know how I do like a million different jobs? Like I do this with you, then I do like TV stuff, other radio stations, anybody that'll hand me cash. I'm like, sure, where do you want me to be? Like I'm always down for work. I was at one of my other million of jobs, and I met this girl. We totally hit it off. She was awesome. Like we ended up working together for the day, and they paired us up, and we just laughed and had so much fun. But like a lot of these jobs, especially the one-off ones, like if you like book a commercial or something, you know, you spend the day with people, they're great, but then they go on with their lives, you go on with yours. So usually the way you keep in touch is social media. Like you say to the person, hey, what's your Insta or TikTok or whatever, you know, platform you choose. So I said to this girl, like, are you on TikTok? No. You're 22? Yeah. Okay. Are you on Instagram? She goes, well, not really. She's like, I have an Instagram, but it's private. I don't use it. I don't post anything there. I literally just use it to keep in touch with people who say to me, what's your Instagram? Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, okay, well, so why aren't you on any social media? She's like, I just find it really distracting. I'm really not into it. I just don't see the point of it. And I was really surprised because we all had this idea that the Zoomers are all like really attached to their phones and they're always on some platform. And, you know, everyone's been asking like, what's the next thing? Like after TikTok, what's going to be the next big thing? And the answer is probably nothing. I know this is hard to get your mind around, but my boyfriend said to me the other day, I think social media is on its way out. I think in the next 10 to 15 years, there'll be like a couple of Gen Zers, one or two millennials still on social media, but people are not interested in social media anymore. And I was like, that's ridiculous. So I went back and I looked. I'd seen some story this year in February about Facebook. It was like a Business Insider story, but you know me in business. I'm just like 1 + 1 = remind me again. This is very interesting. I can't believe I completely passed up this story. In February, Facebook's earnings report showed that that Facebook, for the first time in its 18-year history, was on the way down. That it was losing users by the tens of thousands. They lost 500,000 users since from January to February. Just this year. I'm sure they lost more since February till now. But I was like, I thought this was really interesting. And before I tell you the latest on this, I'm kind of curious because you have Zoomers at home. You have young kids. Are they interested in social media? Are they on anything?
They're
What's
on
their deal?
Snapchat, and that's it.
They're still on Snapchat? That's interesting.
Snapchat
okay.
is the thing. But it's not really, it's more of a messaging way to message than it is anything else. I don't think they go there to look at it. I think they just send messages back and forth. But that's the only thing they use, both of them. I mean, my oldest uses Instagram. My youngest doesn't use anything but Snapchat.
Yeah, I think that's really interesting because, you know, millennials, like our generation, millennials, older, Gen Z, whatever. I mean, Gen X, everybody has this image of younger kids glued to their phones on social media all day long, and it's just not the reality. And there's been a huge study done that they're looking specifically at Gen Z and asking them, like, what are you into? And they're like, not being on social media. Because according to this study, 22% of Gen Zers, that's a lot. Think about how many people are Gen Z. 22% is millions upon millions of kids are saying that social media is toxic, it's obsessive, and they stepped away from it. They're anti-social media apps because they just don't want to be, when you delete it, they said you realize you don't even need it, and it's really distracting and it's really destructive. And what's really interesting about that is that all the studies that have been done over the past couple of years have been showing that places like Instagram, for example, Gen Z and younger millennials, the suicide rates and the depression rates are higher than they've ever been before. And a lot of psychologists and a lot of people who study this sort of thing are saying that it's because of social media. Because if you think about it and you're like, why social media? That's so stupid. It really isn't. Because if you look at Instagram, you're not going to post a picture of yourself on your worst day. You're not posting realistic stuff. You're posting like, oh my God, I look great, hair, makeup, everything's having a good hair day. Everyone uses filters. Everyone posts like fun, cool things they're doing. So if you look at somebody, if you follow somebody on Instagram, let's say, or even TikTok, you're seeing them. It's like, wow, their life is pretty fabulous. You don't see anything negative happening. And then you're like, well, my life is not that good. Like, my life is kind of sucky. They make it seem like their life is fabulous. And you start comparing yourself to other people, and that makes you feel depressed. And the younger you are, the more likely you are to compare yourself to other people, like your friends and all that kind of stuff. And people that you don't know, that like your best friend, you know, like if their life is shit, you know their life is shit. But most of the people around you, especially if you're in like high school, if everyone's life seems fabulous and yours is a real life, and it's not fabulous, you think there's something wrong with you. So kids that are prone to depression are more likely to become depressed if they spend a lot of time on social media. And this message has really hit home for Gen Z. And they're like, you know what? Fuck that shit. We are done with social media. And there's this huge movement now for like 20-somethings and younger to get off Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. They're done. They're fleeing Instagram in droves.
Yeah, like the news of Elon Musk spending billions and billions and billions of dollars trying to buy Twitter. And I sit there and go, I think that you should have did that 10 years ago.
Right. Exactly. It's like somebody now investing in Apple.
Right. Well, it's now people buying, tens of radio stations.
Right.
That would have been great 20 years ago.
Yeah, the reason why they're cheap now is because nobody wants them, because they're losing. I mean, think about it. Not only are radio stations losing listeners and losing advertisers, but people are not consuming radio the same way. And radio stations like classic, iconic, legendary radio stations are failing, are flipping formats, are going bye-bye. I mean, there's major radio stations that you and I grew up hearing about, grew up knowing about, that are gone. They're gone. It's not like they're just not doing well. They literally do not exist anymore.
Well, somebody put an offer to buy Cumulus, to buy the whole company.
What? How much was it? Like $1.75?
It wasn't much. I mean, it was... they're saying 1.2 billion.
Well, it's still in the billions, still in the B. I mean, it's obviously they think it's worth something. Obviously,
but that's
they're going to pay that kind of money.
1.2 billion, and they have thousands of radio stations. Though.
Right, I see. It should be twice that.
It should be 4 times that. But 1.2 billion, I go, I think I could come up with that. If I tried, if I hustled enough, I think I could get a couple of people together and get our money and buy that.
Yeah, right. Really, I mean, 1.2 billion, while it sounds like a lot of money, it's not a lot of money for radio stations that should be worth 1.2 billion for like 2.
Right. Yeah, 10 should have been that much.
Yeah.
But they're
Not
talking
2,000.
thousands.
Yeah, there's thousands of stations, yeah. Penn State did a study also, and they gave an example of one senior they spoke with who got off of Instagram. And in the survey, they asked him why. He said, because it had me subconsciously comparing myself to other people. And it really ate at me. I was asking myself, am I doing the right thing? Am I having the right kind of fun? Am I as popular as my friends? And he said that he got off of Instagram, or the gram, for the sake of his own mental health. And that's what a lot of people are saying. And then this particular study, the Penn State study, from a survey from Tallow, found that 56% of people on Gen Zs, 56%, said that social media has left them feeling left out and basically shitty. And they got off of Instagram. They're done with Instagram.
Yeah, I haven't had Instagram in 3 years, and I'm fine. I don't miss it at all. If there's something that you want me to know, you tell me. I saw this on Instagram. True. Okay. Yeah. But other than that, it doesn't control my life. I don't spend a second looking at it.
Well, you're not 22. I'm talking about like, it's just interesting that like younger generations. Yeah, I'm sort of over that shit also too. Like, I remember to check Instagram every once in a while, but I think the other problem is that, for many years, our industry, the media industry and radio and podcasting and stuff, we were constantly told by our bosses and the digital department that you had to post a certain amount per day and you had to have a certain amount of followers in order to be relevant. And then you've come to find out, like, I remember that one radio job that I had in between you and I working together. The woman they hired had 46,000 followers and I only had 15,000. But I put out a tweet and it gets 22,000 retweets and 18,000 likes. Her biggest engagement was 5 likes and 1 retweet. That's because she bought her followers. She bought them.
Right.
Just the way most people do. Like now people know if you see somebody that has 125,000 followers, but like 0 engagement, they obviously bought their followers. So how much value does that have? And then now years and years of doing all these studies find that there's no correlation between how many followers you have and how successful your book, your radio show, your podcast, your platform, whatever it is you're into. There's no correlation between people that listen and people that follow you. You know what I mean? Somebody might listen to you and love you and then follow you, but no one's going to follow you and be like, they're really funny on Instagram. They're really funny on Twitter. I'm going to go check out their podcast. That doesn't happen.
Well, it's like the station we worked for had hundreds and hundreds of thousands of followers. They would put a tweet out and it would get 1 like.
Right, exactly.
It's like you did a lot of work for that 1 like.
Yeah.
But this is how bad radio puts love on social media now. There's a job that's looking for in San Francisco. So it's a rare, exciting opportunity. I saw this ad today to join the professional team in Silicon Valley. You could be a personality on the new country station. The ideal candidate has great attitude. Okay, we don't have that. No. Exceptional work ethic. Yeah.
Well, we have work. Listen, if we have nothing else, we have work ethic.
Okay, so the attitude, no.
No.
Work ethic, yeah.
Yes.
We're able to resonate with the 25-54 audience, sure.
Yes, that's what we do.
Online and on-site and on air. You should possess ninja-like social media networking. We are looking for rock stars that understand how to create compelling content through TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
That just tells me it was written by some 50-year-old dude who does not understand that social media is bullshit when it comes to that kind of stuff, because they're going to get somebody who's like puts like really funny TikTok and really great videos, but is shit on the air. If you're really good on the let me tell you something. Elvis Duran is amazing on the air. You know where he's not so good? On social media.
That's where they hire people to do that.
He doesn't need to be good on social media because he's not a social media digital platform person. What he is he's an amazing personality. Yeah, he's got other people that he hired to whatever he does on the air, then go put that on a digital platform. And I'm sure he's only playing that game because he has to, because it's part of the culture now. But the truth is, he's the best there is on the radio. He doesn't need to be on TikTok.
Yeah, so this station is not going to last. I'm telling you now. So Listen to the station now, because they want somebody who's good on TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook. And I hate to tell you, Mr. PD, but those companies don't pay you. You don't get a check from TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook.
That's true.
You get ratings from the audience. You have something that TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook doesn't have, and that's a radio tower.
Right, exactly.
So talk to that audience. Forget about the other audience. You idiot. That tells me we have zero money for advertising, so you have to do it for free.
Yeah, that's the bigger point, that you have a radio station, you have a stick, you have reach, and yet you're relying on Twitter and TikTok and Instagram,
and you wonder why radio is dying. You
right,
wonder.
Then why have exactly? Why have a radio station? Why bother having a radio station?
So
Yeah, it's the dumbest thing. And and like I said, I have a friend who is on she's huge on Instagram. She's 125,000 followers and she sells jewelry. She sells like 5 necklaces a month.
Mm-hmm.
Like 125,000 followers because they'd like to follow. She's pretty pictures, but no one's buying her shit.
She sells 5. Yeah, that's worth your time.
Right, exactly. How about this? Instead of going to Instagram, which is fine, you have to be on Instagram, go try to sell your shit at a store where there's actually people walking in and out.
The very latest information on an amazing phenomenon.
Because you are a mean girl. You're a bitch.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
The word rom-com sends shivers up my spine.
Oh, why?
Because to me, it screams, I'm going to be so bored watching
Corny.
this movie. Yeah.
Yeah, it's corny and boring to you.
So I have the top 13 rom-coms, and some of them I've seen, and some of them I don't agree that they're rom-coms.
Okay.
I don't believe number 13, Groundhog Day, is a rom-com.
Well, what else is it then?
It's a comedy.
So nobody in it falls in love, and it's not about a romantic. There's no romantic.
If somebody falls in love, it's a rom-com.
Yes, that's it. The definition of rom-com is that the gist of it. It's more than just a comedy. Like a buddy film is a comedy. Like Hangover is a comedy. That's not a rom-com. But Groundhog Day is the ultimate rom-com. Andy McDowell, he's in love with her. They have a whole thing back and forth. So aside from the comedy that goes on,
5 minutes of the movie. He spends more time with the groundhog than he does with her in the movie.
I don't think so. No, I think the gist of it is that he ends up falling in love with her. That's the whole point.
No, the gist of it is he wakes up, it's the same day. That's the gist of it.
No, giving him another opportunity to get her to fall in love with him. That's the point of the rom-com.
What was that again?
I'm a god.
You're God.
I'm a god. I'm not the god.
Well, okay, so Stripes, Bill Murray got laid. Is that a rom-com?
No, because Stripes is not about him trying to get laid. He happened to get laid as during the course of the rom-com. If the purpose of the movie is for a couple to get together, it's a rom-com. If it's a bunch of guys hanging out having fun and one of them happens to get laid, that's not a rom-com.
Okay, so confused. Number 12, While You Were Sleeping, which I've never seen, so I don't know what that is. It's a Sandra Bullock movie.
Sandra Bullock. Oh, it's so good.
Oh, it is? Is it a rom-com?
It absolutely is a rom-com. Just so you understand, here's the definition of a rom-com. It's a subgenre of comedy, slice-of-life fiction, that means false, humorous plotline centered on romantic ideas such as how true love is able to surmount most obstacles, or like a funny movie or a play or a love story that ends happily. That's the idea.
All right, so you agree with the Sandra Bullock movie. I think.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic rom-com.
All she does is rom-coms.
Yeah.
Number 11, Something's Gotta Give. Never seen it.
I think
That's a Jack Nicholson, Diane Keaton. It just screams old people, and I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, that's a good point. Maybe you wouldn't like it. Okay, maybe you wouldn't. It's for old people. That's true.
All right, not a rom-com. Forgetting Sarah Marshall.
Literally a rom-com. Literally the whole gist of it. It's called Forgetting Sarah Marshall. It's about getting over Sarah Marshall. That's the whole point. It's in the title that it's about a woman.
But he's trying to get over her, not fall in love with her. So that's just a comedy then.
Yeah, but then he falls in love with someone. That's the whole point. It ends with a happy story where he falls in love
with Meg.
Yeah, you're a smart fella, Dad.
And you're a fart smeller, Meg.
Yeah, Jason Segel. That's the whole idea. That he's trying to get over Kristen Bell, and he does that by falling in love with Meg. So it's literally a rom-com. The whole thing centers around romance.
Not really. It evolves around them in Hawaii hooking up. I don't know. Number 9, I'll agree that this is a rom-com, and I think it should be on the list. The Wedding Singer.
Okay, you agree this one's a rom-com? Of all the movies, this is the one that you could argue is not a rom-com.
But
because
they fall
it's
in
about
love at the end.
I know, but it's about the wedding singer himself. See, that if you're going to argue anything is not a rom-com, that would have been a good one.
I'm so confused. Okay, number 8, My Best Friend's Wedding.
Yes, My Best Friend's Wedding is where Julia Roberts is best friends with the dude and thinks that they should be together, but he's really in love with Cameron Diaz. So it's sort of like it's an unexpected love triangle. I won't tell you how it ends.
Oh, poor guy. He's hooking up with Julia Roberts and Cameron Diaz in the same movie. Yeah, I'll take that movie.
He doesn't hook up with Julia Roberts because that's his best friend, so he ends up marrying Cameron Diaz.
Okay, so this one I agree 100%. This is the definition of rom-com. Sleepless in Seattle.
Oh, yes. Of course, yeah. That one's definitely... That's almost like textbook Like if you said to me rom-com, immediately I think of The Notebook and Sleepless in Seattle.
Notting Hill, which I thought was a horror movie. It sounds like a horror movie.
It's Notting Hill, not Nottington. It's Notting Hill, and that's another Julia Roberts one where she's in Notting Hill, England, and that's where she hooks up with Hugh Grant. Yeah, that's a good one.
I thought it was a horror movie. Isn't there something Hill that's a horror movie?
The House on Haunted Hill?
There you go. That's what I thought it was.
Or Hill House?
Number 5 would have been a great movie if they would have cut it in half, and it's Jerry Maguire.
Show me the money!
I agree. Yes, it was 2 movies in one. It was a sports movie, and then it was a love movie. Yeah,
but it
you're
went
right.
on for like 4.5 hours.
Show me the money!
It just kept going and going and going. Stop it.
Yeah, first it's Moneyball, show me the money. And then the end, it's
you had me at hello.
You had me at hello. Yes, that whole thing. Like it was both movies. It was like make up your mind, one or the other.
Number 4, not a rom-com. Clueless.
Ew! Get off of me! Ugh, as if.
Huh, that's interesting. I think you might be right about that one. And the only reason why that's not a rom-com, because it was really it's almost like Mean Girls. It was about Cher, Alicia Silverstone and her friends in their life and like as if and all that stuff. She happens to hook up at the end with Paul Rudd, but the movie is not about her nailing Paul Rudd and it's not about him nailing her. So
it's the
in
opposite.
A way, yeah, the opposite. So I'm with you on that. I think that's a straight up comedy.
Number 3, rom-com, You Got Mail.
You've got mail.
Yeah. Listen, anything that Meg Ryan and Tom Hanks have done is only rom-com.
You've got mail.
Number 2, is it a rom-com? Pretty Woman.
I don't think so. The only reason I'm going to say no, I don't think it is. Look, it's hard because in a 2022 lens, it's a movie about a woman who is completely controlled by a guy. And, there's a lot of jokes on Twitter about if you watch Pretty Woman backwards, it's about a woman who ditches a controlling guy and becomes like sexually free and becomes sexually free and financially responsible for herself. Yeah. So,
she goes from being hot and then she goes to putting a wig on and now she's a hooker.
Yeah. It's about a woman who gets out of a controlling relationship and takes the reins of her own life if you watch it backwards. So I don't think it's a rom-com because in my opinion, it does not end happy.
I think we should take all movies and play them backwards. Like Star Wars. We'd be like, well, that's his dad. How do we know that? We saw that in the beginning, remember?
It starts with his dad, right.
he said, I'm
right,
your,
exactly.
your father.
It's about a guy who loses his father.
And he gets younger. So I think we should watch all movies like that.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, like all movies, like if you watch them backwards, they're actually a lot more interesting.
And if you watch Batman backwards.
Okay, so if you watch Batman backwards, it's about a guy who does everything he can to save a city And in the end, his parents die.
The last scene, his parents should be proud of him, but no, they die.
Yeah, right. Exactly. He's busy saving the city, but he forgot to save them.
And number one, and we should watch it backwards because I think it would be a better movie, When Harry Met Sally.
Yes. When Harry Met Sally is about a couple who's been together for many years and then they end up realizing that they were really just friends to begin with.
Mm-hmm. It starts with an orgasm and ends when they're in college.
Right, exactly.
Avoid boring your audience.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
This is done only as a courtesy to your audience.
When you see that Jennifer Lopez is getting married for the 4th time, are you like, oh my God, what a nightmare she is? Or do you think she's just been unlucky in love
No,
I think for 4 marriages?
I think if you get married twice and you go for a 3rd time, you're broken and you should stop it.
What about 4?
Then you're really broken. It's like if I go to dive off a diving board and 2 times I'm not very good at it, I'm not doing it again. I'm going to stop and just say, that's not for me. That's what you should do with 4 marriages.
No, but did you dive off the diving board to the side a bunch of times? Then finally somebody was like, no, dummy, you got to dive off the front and go head first. And then you learn how to do it. And suddenly you're like, I can dive. I'm good at this now. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm just curious if you think she's a nightmare and can't keep a marriage together, or she's also been engaged a bunch of times, or has she just been unlucky in love? She hasn't met the right guy, and now she finally has.
No, she's a nightmare. That's the reason. It's because she can't dive right. And sometimes you just got to stop. I mean, you don't need to keep doing it. If you're not good at something, just don't do it no more.
Or if you're not good at something, keep doing it until you finally get it right. How about that?
Okay, so let's look back at all the marriages that went on more than 4 times. That doesn't work out that way.
Well, I think it depends who you are and why. Like, if your life has not changed a lot from your first marriage to your 4th, then yes, I would say you need to get some therapy and figure out what the hell is wrong with you and why you can't make a marriage work. But if you think about Jennifer Lopez, she has been like several incarnations of herself over the years. She got married really, really young to this one dancer dude, before she even knew who she was or what marriage was. So that was a mistake.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think the healthy marriage that she had really was with Mark Anthony. They were friends for a really long time. But okay, I think that's what happened there. They were friends a really long time. One day looked at each other and went, let's do this. I don't think she was ever madly in love with him.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a successful marriage because it would still be going on. And it's not. So that was a dive she did, and she belly flopped. So then she decided to try it again. And no, it's some people just can't live with somebody else unless you find that one like you. If you didn't find Joe, you would have to buy cats.
Well, why cats and not dogs? What
are dogs? You could be you could be the dog person. It would have to be a non-human, is what I'm saying.
Right.
I mean, you piss people off when you're standing in line at the store, and you're only around that person for 4 seconds.
Well, I know, but I'm not marrying them. They're experiencing me for a few minutes, and then they get to move on and go on with their lives and forget they ever met me.
And that's most people that you dated. You just want to get away and forget that you dated her. No, I think if it's more than 2 times, I'm going to go out on a limb and say 2 times, more than 2, you're going for a 3rd, you're broken. Don't do it. Just from now on, don't get married. Just live together.
I think Jennifer Lopez's problem is that she's still gorgeous. And that's a problem. And here's why. Okay, so when I was in my 20s and I was gorgeous, like I was at the gym 6 days a week. Every part of my body was perfect. I had this cute little face, this beautiful hair. I was so tiny, and I forgot how tiny I was, that I found this skirt the other day that I totally forgot I had, and I don't know even why I had it all these years. And I was like, it was so little. I was like, did I have this when I was in like junior high school? And I found all these pictures of me in my 20s wearing that skirt. I was like, wow, I was tiny. Like I was hot and I was tiny. So it was, and I had the big personality. So I attracted men like crazy. And then they got to know me and were like, oh, she's a nightmare.
Mm-hmm.
But they were attracted by the hotness. Now I'm no longer hot. So now as soon as they meet me, it's all personality. They don't go like, oh, she's hot. They're like, oh, this woman who's not hot at all is a nightmare. And they run the other way. Jennifer Lopez, if she stopped being hot, if she started aging like a normal 50-something-year-old, men would not be, she wouldn't be able to attract all the men that she can attract, and they can see that possibly there's a nightmare under there. You know what I mean? But she's still hot. She's still doing the thing that we did in our 20s.
Yeah, but see, you were smart enough to say, I'm not getting married again.
Right.
You were smart enough to say, I tried that. It didn't work. I'm moving on. You don't have to get married. In 2022, you can just live together. You don't. And I can't believe I'm explaining this to you. It's usually the other way around.
Yeah.
But no, she can just cohabitate with Batman and not marry him.
Yeah, I wonder what the rush to the altar is with people like that. You know, why maybe they just really like being married. Maybe it's because of their kids. But even you can have kids and not be married. I don't understand what the rush to the altar is about. I think this is more about him than her. Although, okay, so here's what I think. He is very conservative socially. You know how like a lot of celebrities are conservative, they're conservative politically? He is not. He is politically liberal, but he's socially conservative. Remember he made that statement recently that every kid should have a father and a mother.
Right.
And single moms all over the country were like, fuck you, Batman. You know, and gay couples were all over the country were like, you know, eat my ass, Argo. Because he has kids and she has kids, he must be pushing for marriage. Mm-hmm. But then I was thinking maybe her also, because, you know, she does have I mean, they're not religious. They were never religious, but, you know, she does have sort of a, I don't know, like a Catholic upbringing kind of thing, you know, where they do believe in family. And I don't think that she's as liberal as people think she is.
No, strict Catholics don't believe in divorce.
Good. That's a very good point. Yeah, that's
and
really
she's had
true.
3 of them, so you can't throw the religious thing in there at all. I think with both of them, because they're both very attractive people and both have a nice bank account, they want to lock that shit down.
Oh, okay. So it's probably smart. You're making a good point. So it's probably smarter for them to get married because that way
you can't pick up and just walk out.
Yeah, but you know what? That's bullshit because he picked up and walked out on Jennifer Gardner. I mean, she married him, so what? So he wouldn't cheat, and he cheated like crazy. Mm-hmm. And she had her own money, and he had his own money. If anything...
She ain't got J-Lo money, though.
But he doesn't have J-Lo money.
Right. But he still wants to lock that shit down because she's on the Super Bowl looking hot as hell. So he wants to lock that down.
But doesn't just being with the person lock it down?
No,
why do you have to get married to lock it down?
Because you can walk out.
You can walk out of a marriage.
It's not that easy, though. Not when you're dealing with that type of money. You can't just walk out. So that's a commitment. So I think they want to show each other the commitment. But how many times has he been married?
No, I think just the once. I think just to Jennifer
Gardner. Okay, then he's not broke. She's broke. She is broken, and it's not going to end well. It never does.
My favorite part of this conversation is neither one of us are taking into account that the two of them actually love each other and want to be married.
No.
Like, they want to be married for romantic reasons because that's just, you know, you date and then you get back together. Remember, they were engaged before and broke up. So now it almost feels like last time we were engaged and broke up, this time let's go the distance. Like let's not do what we did last time. It's like they're trying to prove each other right this time.
No, I always think back when it comes to those two, that photo of him driving away from her house with that look on his face like, oh, dear God, what did I get? What did I do? So I keep thinking back to that look on his face. That's not a happy look.
But if you remember, before he started dating Jennifer Lopez again, he was on like, not Raya, but one of those dating sites. He was on a dating site, like looking for models. Like Ben Affleck, think about that. Ben Affleck was like looking for somebody to date. Ben Affleck couldn't find anybody who would date him.
Well, because he's a complete ass. If you listen to any of his interviews or any time he talks off script, he's a complete asshole.
Yeah.
And she's a nightmare and he's an asshole. So doesn't make any sense. We don't know him at all. So we're just kind of guessing at the relationship. But I think it's just easier just to get married and move on. I don't know why.
It's funny you would say that and use those words because when I was in my 20s, I dated a guy who was a little bit older than I was. And he was also an alcoholic, which is fun because you never know which guy is coming over. And I remember this one time he came over my house and he was really drunk. And my roommate, Faith, was sitting at her computer doing work. She was in law school and she was like at her computer doing stuff. And he comes over and he was on a tirade, but like he was funny. He wasn't like a mean drunk. And he was like, he goes, let me tell you girls something. All men are assholes. All women are insane. Did you hear me? All men are assholes. All women are insane. Hit enter, Faith. Faith, hit enter. He kept wanting her to like type that. Write this down. Hit enter.
Take
all
notes.
men are assholes. All women are insane. And, I was a rebound, basically. Like, the woman of his life dumped him. And I was like, he was an actor and a waiter, and I was a hostess at a restaurant, and I was probably maybe close to 10 years younger than him. And I was like totally in love with him, but I was literally a rebound, just somebody he was dating until he can get his real girlfriend back.
Before he came over to your house, he had to get plastered.
That should tell you.
Hold on, I gotta go to Cooper's. Hold on.
Let me start drinking.
It's one of those beers when you poke a hole in the bottom of the beer and put it up to your face. That's what he's doing on the way.
Yeah,
that's what he's doing on the way to your house.
Shotgunning beers in the cab the whole way over.
Why is there limes and salt in your car? Because I was coming over to see you. Yeah, you were hot, but you were a nightmare. That's why he was drunk.
That's what I'm saying. But now I'm no longer hot. So now the nightmare is bigger. Now people can really see the nightmare coming a mile away. And, I was smart with my boyfriend. I locked that shit down when I was like 30.
Yeah, because now he's too lazy to leave.
He's too lazy. I asked him recently. I was like, you think we'll be together the rest of your life and my life? He goes, unfortunately, probably.
Yeah, I mean, how much longer we got? I mean, it's COVID time. How much longer we got?
Yeah, we'll just play this out.
Not even
play out
worth
this
it.
hand and see how it goes.
It's not even worth it.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
Cool.
Remember back in the day, there were oldies radio stations. So
there still are. What are you talking about?
Well, yeah, but now they don't play like songs from the 50s and 60s. They try to change every year. So
so oldies is they keep bringing it up every year. So now oldies is considered 80s, 90s, and today.
Right. So, but oldies radio stations, I remember when they would play like the 50s, and your parents would listen to it, and. But now, oldies stations, like, for example, CBS FM in New York, when I was living in New York, we would listen all the time because we liked a certain jock that was on the air on that station. But
made us laugh, yeah.
Made us laugh. And they played just shit music that was fun.
Yeah.
But they were considered, and still is considered, an oldie station. So oldie stations now, every year, they add songs.
Uh-huh.
So when they add a song, you go, oh, shit, that's old now.
Yeah, like how do you know you're old? Well, they're playing one of your favorite songs that you listened to in high school on the oldie station.
CBS FM just added Britney Spears, Oops, I Did It Again.
No.
Waiting for Tonight by Jennifer Lopez, and This Is How We Do It.
Oh, God. Oh, God, that hurts. Ow, ow, ow. Oh, man.
That's oldies. Okay. K-Earth 101 in L.A. just added Coldplay Clocks.
Oh, what a sucky song. Ugh, who cares?
But we were playing it when it was a current.
It's a good point. Yeah. No, well, that's not the Coldplay. Coldplay's not an oldies. I mean, Coldplay.
They just added it to an oldie station.
I know, but that was 2010.
I know, that makes you want to jump out the window. They also added Warren G and Nate Dogg's Regulate.
Whoa. Okay, that hurts.
Yeah, WLS in Chicago just added Drift Away by Uncle Kracker.
Well, that's a remake of an old song. So that's a new old song. But you're right, it is. Well, okay, so here's what's scary.
The new old song is considered an old song now.
Old song, yeah, that's really scary. And the scary thing is, I just said 2010 as if it was yesterday. 2010 was 12 years ago. That's fucked up.
Okay, ROR in Boston just added Blind Melon, No Rain.
Oh my God.
No Doubt, Don't Speak. Bare Naked Ladies, 1 Week. Alanis Morissette, Head Over Feet and Ironic. Creep,
oh my God.
Higher, and Third Eye Blind, Semi-Charmed Life.
Okay, so the 90s is now oldies,
old
is what
school.
you're telling me. Songs from the 90s are oldies. That hurts. Like where were you when you learned that you were old? I was on the radio with Anthony. I was on our podcast when he told me that the songs I listened to when I was younger are now considered oldies.
I love that Cool 108 in Minneapolis is making news that they added MC Hammer's You Can't Touch This.
Yeah, who cares about that song, though?
No, I'm saying they're making a big deal. You're kind of late on that.
Yeah, exactly. That's an old song that's been an old song for a long time.
They just added Green Day, When I Come Around, and Boulevard of Broken Dreams, and Basket Case.
Okay, that's scary.
Somebody dropped off a Green Day CD to them. They dropped off Dookie, and they said, what the hell, we'll put it in. Basket Case is an oldie.
Wow.
It's on your grandma's station.
And if you think about it, like, Green Day was so edgy. Those guys were like, with their under-eye makeup, and they...
throwing dirt on the crowd.
Yeah, spitting on the crowd, taking out their peenies, that kind of thing. I mean, they were pretty edgy. It's weird to think that kind of music is now on the oldies station.
DUV in Tampa, they just added Jesus Jones right here, right now. Kind of late on that one, guys.
You're very late. That was an old song when it came out.
And the song that saved our ass many a day, Delamitri, Roll to Me, because it was 2 minutes long.
Right.
I could always time to the top of the hour with Delamitri, Roll to Me.
Yeah, but that's another oldie song that was always oldies. Because when I first started in radio, that was an old song that exactly, if I needed an extra 2 minutes, that's a song you would throw in there just to cover some time to get you to the top of the hour so you can play the Legal ID.
Yeah.
So
that song got you out of many a jam.
Many a jam.
Okay,
yeah.
So you're driving around Denver listening to Cool 105 with Grandma, okay? And Backstreet Boys, Quit Playing Games with My Heart comes on. Foo Fighters, Learn to Fly, and My Hero.
No, I don't accept that. I do not accept that those are oldies. No. I'm taking a hit out on that program director.
Blink 182, All the Small Things.
Are you serious? Oh my God, the 90s are oldies.
Linkin Park, In the End, just got added by Cool 105 in Denver. Yeah.
Oh my God! I feel my arthritis kicking in as you say this.
No Doubt, It's My Life just got added.
Okay, I will now need an AARP card now that you're saying all this.
K104.7 is now the station that Bob and Sherry went on. So they're now on K1047 in Charlotte. They just added Bad Company, Feel Like Making Love.
Well, no, that's old. That's a really, really, really old.
But they
song.
had
That's
a meeting to say, I think this is going to be a hit. I think it's
that's
time
a rock
we
and
add
roll.
it.
But that's a rock and roll oldie. See, that's the thing about rock stations, at least here in New York, I've noticed. The rock stations are still playing songs from the 60s and 70s. And they're not calling them oldies, they're just calling them rock and roll songs. So that fits into that category.
No, I'm thinking of 3 old guys sitting in an office going, what songs are we going to add this year? And they're in San Antonio at KONO, and they said, TLC Waterfalls, I think it's time we add it. I think that might be a hit.
Oh, my God.
Ricky Martin, Livin' La Vida Loca, they added.
No, are you serious?
Yeah, they just added Selena, I Could Fall in Love.
Wait, I love that Ricky Martin is like, well, what's going on with my career? You know, I'm still touring and all that, but wait a minute, I'm having a resurgence.
I'm blowing
What the
up.
hell's going on? I'm blowing up.
KOLA in California, in Riverside, California, is like the real big oldie station.
Yeah.
They just added Lady Gaga, Bad Romance.
That hurts.
Katy Perry, Hot and Cold, and Firework.
No, unacceptable.
Pink,
Yeah, but those songs
So What, and Just Like a Pill.
No, those songs are from the 2000s. Those are current. Well, they're not current, but they're not oldies.
Your grandma is listening to Neon Trees Animal right now.
Jesus.
And they also, just for shits and giggles, just added Bob Marley Jammin'.
That doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
They added Bob Marley Jammin' and Neon Trees Animal in the same week.
None of that makes any sense. My favorite thing is that how my mom is going to call me and be like, do you know this singer Pink? She's really good.
What's this Bad Romance by Lady Gaga? I think she's going to be huge.
Who's Lady Gaga?
Kelly Clarkson's Stronger, What Doesn't Kill You. They just added also. So they're on top of it, that they're adding all these hit songs to these oldie stations.
Have all these people been in comas? Like, they just wake up and be like, oh, Kelly Clarkson, the woman from the TV, she was a musician.
Yeah, wow. I kind of like this song. It's called Stronger. She's the girl that hosts that song contest on NBC.
Wait until they hear about Christina Aguilera.
Well, they added Cher Believe, too. So Cher said, thank you. Thanks for the ad.
And I love it, like the 4 gays that live there are like, finally!
We've been calling every week.
Mercy. Someone's got a pretty high opinion of herself.
It's the Cooper and Anthony Show.
So, watching TV the other day, and a commercial comes on, but I was in the other room and I was listening rather than watching, so I didn't know what the commercial was. And it was a company called Third Love. I was like, oh, another dating site. Mm-hmm. So I'm just half paying attention, and I come in the room and I see women in like bras and underwear and shapewear, and I'm like, what kind of dating site is this? And then I realized, no, Third Love is not a dating site. It's a body positivity bra and underwear line that have half sizes, about 78 different sizes from 32A to 44H.
H.
Yeah. And I was like,
nice.
Oh, that's impressive. But the company is called Third Love. And I was like, well, who named that company? That sounds like the dumbest name for a really good company. So I started noticing. So since that was in my head, that I was thinking Third Love should be like, if you're Jennifer Lopez, you've been divorced 3 times. Like, this is a great dating site for it. Been divorced more than once? Third Love. Like, that feels like, if you've been divorced more than once, that feels like the dating site for you. But it's not. So I did a deeper dive into some companies that had come up that had names that were really misleading. Like, so I'm going to tell you the name of the company. You tell me what you think that company does.
Okay.
Okay. What do you think Arctic Wolf Networks does?
Arctic Wolf Network does something with snow, skis,
Cybersecurity.
Oh, that's stupid.
Yeah, I didn't understand that. How about this? The zebra.
Isn't that like like an eBay?
That's what I thought. I was like, the zebra must be like, I didn't know what it was. It's a car insurance comparison website.
That's stupid.
Yeah. How about this? Blue kite.
Blue kite. Food. Like Blue Apron.
That's what I thought too. I was like, Blue Apron, maybe Blue Kite. Maybe instead of like sending you food, they send you toys and things for your kids to play with. You know, one of those like Bark Box kind of thing where like every month you get new toys. No, It's a branding company. They make signs and banners and logos.
Had no idea.
And then once they add colors, like, because this Blue Kite, the maroon door.
That's a like a company that paints your house.
It's a restaurant.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. Unchained Carrot.
Unchained Carrot. It's a rabbit company. They make rabbits.
No, again, Unchained Carrot. I was like, well, that's sort of, maybe they do like, I don't know, some interesting food delivery kind of thing, like a health food delivery. Maybe it's organic food. No, it's a marketing firm. That doesn't make any sense.
That doesn't make no sense.
Yeah, and I got a couple more for you that I thought was interesting. This is another commercial I was watching, and they have a company called Torrid. Torrid. Torrid.
That's like a where you make logos and stuff.
You would think that's what it is. I mean, the word, the definition of the word torrid.
Like a torrid affair.
Yeah, a torrid affair would work. Very hot. Something that's super hot.
Right.
Or maybe even super difficult. Like Wall Street is in for a torrid time. They would say that. No, Torrid is it's a women's clothing store for plus size women. Women who have size 10 to 30.
I think that's going to be the new Ford car. The new Ford Torrid.
Yes, exactly. It doesn't make any sense. Now one of these makes sense, but the next one doesn't. I thought it was the same thing. Ready for this?
Yep.
Fight Camp.
You don't talk about that.
Well, Fight Camp made sense. It's boxing equipment. So I was like, okay, I can go with that. Fight Camp as boxing equipment. I like that. That actually made sense. And the next one I saw was Misto Box. So what do you think I thought that was?
That's a porn site.
No. It does sound like
we don't talk about that
name.
either.
So I was like, Misto Box must be like, again, like another boxing thing, or maybe one of these, like, again, some sort of delivery where they send you boxing stuff. No, it's coffee delivery.
That doesn't make any damn sense. That's just something that they typed into Google, and there was no company named that, so that's why they named it.
That is what it feels like. And here's the last one. What do you think a company called Bird does?
Makes drones.
That's good. Yeah, you would think drones. That makes sense.
Yep.
You know,
because that's what birds are.
Yeah. No, it's a scooter sharing company.
Oh, that's stupid. That's because they went on GoDaddy and that name wasn't taken, so they took it and they named their company that.
But what's so weird about it is now the company names sound ridiculous, but if you look back, like Yahoo, Google, Amazon, you know, all these names do sound stupid until they make sense, until they start being a company that you've heard of. Because if you think about it, like Amazon, why would you call a delivery company Amazon? Like that doesn't, you know, the Amazon, like the rainforest? What? I don't get it. But now that we know what Amazon is, it has some power.
As soon as the name turns from a noun to a verb, then it makes sense.
Yes.
So
right.
Google was a noun, but now it's a verb.
Right. I'm going to Google that.